podcast, Harlem's very own, featuring as always your three magnanimous co-hosts. Speaking first, it's Justin K. Winley, a.k.a. Delroy Thindo, a.k.a. Dr. Debonair, a.k.a. the MC Maestro, joined by my boy.
Yo, what's up? It's the Demon of the Eastern Province, a.k.a. Jordan Smith's American Boy, a.k.a. the Deep Sea Cervix Diver. What's up? It's Sinbad Stefanucci, baby.
That's a good one. I like that.
Thank you.
And our third mic, of course.
Hello, beautiful people. How are you doing? How y'all doing? What's going on? It's your boy Ahmad Simmons, a.k.a. the Soul Glow Soul Snatcher. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to just keep that for today.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
I got the hair out today. Yeah, you know, the oil is shined up on that motherfucker.
Look
and
at
it's
that
washed.
Yo, what's up, Simba?
Remember who you are.
If you guys don't see, this man just like laid his hand on my forehead like he was about to bless me
Hold the cross up
with the blood. You know what I'm saying? Yes, but what's going on, people? I'm with my fellow blacks, and we're getting it cracking right now, okay?
We are gathered here today to discuss the last bit of news from November, and plenty to talk about indeed. So we'll just dive right into it with our favorite opening section. Go ahead.
Stop this nigga, yeah.
That never gets old.
Thank you very much. Jude, give us the rundown on the latest fool in the news circuit, because you brought this to our attention.
I did. So, the notorious, weird-looking, tattooed, bald alien that sound like a fucking weirdo,
Yeah.
Joe Rogan, has spewed out on his podcast that he is so flexible that he can perform fellatio on himself. And if you don't know what fellatio is, that is toppy. That is soul sucking his own soul.
Right.
That is sucking his own dick.
Yep.
Yes. Yes, people.
Yeah. So on his podcast, and you know, we don't know, at least I don't know the full context, because Joe Rogan releases
Neither do
4-hour
I.
podcasts, and I'm not listening to all that all the time.
I just saw it on Dean Samero as like a headline that they were talking about, and I was just like, nah, no. And I took a picture of it, and I was like, stop this nigga.
Yeah.
Yes.
But he was talking to some of his comedian friends, as he often does. And he said, you know, I'm very flexible. I guess they were talking about maybe yoga or jujitsu, whatever. And he was talking about being able to like put his head down between his legs. And then he said, like, yeah, I could, I could do that if I wanted to. He's like, I've never tried, but I've put my face next to it before. And of course the internet flamed him. The first person who apparently launched the assault was George Takei.
George Takei. Oh
George
my
Takei
God.
keeps heat for everybody. Let it be known that
That
George
little
Takei.
old man. I love George Takei.
George
but
Takei
damn.
said he quote tweeted it, and he said,
Oh my.
"Oh my!" But he said, "Given his head is already up his own ass half the time, is anyone surprised?"
Wow.
This one is really rough. Not sure why he'd need to when so many mediocre white men are just waiting to blow him.
Oh.
Niggas in the
damn.
basement.
Yeah, you know, listen,
Niggas that wear anime printed shirts. Not like the fully anime printed shirts from Wish.
Right. Just that have like the waifu on the.
Just Goku
Yes.
plastered all over your shirt and your sleeve and shit.
with the Bulma body pillows. Yeah.
It's like he was stretching one day, and when he went into a straddle, he was just like, "Oh, this will give me an idea. Let me just see how far I can go."
There's something to this.
I can't co-sign this.
Yeah,
It's just wild.
here's the thing. When we
Niggas die sucking their old dick.
right.
Let's not do this on here.
R.I.P. to the soldiers who died in the cervix.
I dive in her cervix.
Oh man.
Yo, real quick, you know what's funny? I was talking to a classmate of mine, and my favorite professor still listens to the podcast. Shouts out to my professor.
Imagine him just seeing you the next day and go like, Not really talking about this man sucking his own dick for like 15 minutes.
Yeah, Jude, I was really, I was enjoying the podcast. I thought it was great. And then,
You talking about Joe Rogan?
something about Joe Rogan performing fellatio on himself really just, you lost me.
And real quick, how does he do it? Like, I understand he's flexible, but like, that man don't got a neck.
There's no motion in the
head
ocean.
and shoulders. He built like Patrick Star.
It's the ribs. It's this section here. You just gotta he has
but like his
cradle.
neck is here though.
No, this
Like
is Patrick.
he's in a permanent shrug.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I was just going to say, when we started this show, you and I, Jude, we kind of had this pitch for it as like Joe Rogan meets Desus and Mero, which sometimes I still use to explain to people, but you would never catch me in a million years of doing this, which it won't be that long, but saying something like that on air for eternity to remember. Like, you would never, I don't care how like high he was, like
That nigga be doing a lot though. MDMA,
Yeah.
ayahuasca, fucking smoking like super weed.
yeah, I mean, and I go to Joe Rogan to hear what he has to say about like martial arts for most,
Same.
and that's pretty much it. Or sometimes when he's talking about animals and wildlife, because I think that's it's one of my interests. But otherwise, I have no interest in what that guy's talking about.
The funniest episode ever was him with Freddie Gibbs. That shit was funny.
Did Freddie Gibbs go on? Oh, yeah.
It's like 4 hours long, and it's the best thing ever.
I gotta watch that. I really do.
Yeah.
And
So-
then, we sitting there
That's
with
mad
Dr.
funny.
Doolittle over here. You're definitely Dr. Doolittle, Justin.
Oh,
Yes, you
Oh,
are.
word. Yes, you are.
You are
well, when they reboot it the next time, start circulating
you,
my
mate.
name.
That's you right
Dr.
there.
Doolittle, Boomerang, Mushu.
Yes.
You want to get
I am.
matching tattoos? God.
Okay.
Anyway,
Eddie Murphy's face. Eddie Murphy face.
but yeah, Joe Rogan, stop it.
Stop,
Please
nigga, stop.
Get some help.
You need some milk. Not from your dick.
Man, moving into what's poppin', a bunch of stuff happened. I guess we'll start with the most recent thing, at least as of recording. Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Yes,
Their
sir.
official trailer. So, if you haven't been living under a rock, you know that this is one of the most anticipated MCU entries since the quarantine.
Yes.
And
Since Endgame, nigga.
yeah, and it's the third entry in John Watts' Spider-Man franchise, starring Tom Holland, Zendaya, and all of them other folks. And this seeks to kind of bridge the gap between the other Spider-Man entries and this new one, and create a sort of Spider-Verse situation, bringing
That's
back
right.
old villains, bringing back old Spider-Men, featuring Doctor Strange, etc., playing into some of the events of the Disney Plus series. So, with all that said, the trailer dropped last night after a fan event. Many people were expecting to see Tobey Maguire and or Andrew Garfield show up.
Not yet.
They withheld that, which I applaud their restraint in doing.
Yes.
Yeah, what did y'all think about the trailer? I know you're hyped for the movie, so did it excite you further? Did your level stay the same?
I am already. I'm still there. I'm still excited. It didn't get any higher. It didn't get any. It didn't go down. It gave us some scenes as to like what would go on, and they confirmed the villains for this whole movie, because in the first trailer it was just, you saw the thunder and you saw like some like a tornado. There's like a sand tornado, so they're like, oh my god, is it gonna be these people? And so confirmed that we have Doc Ock, we got Electro, we got Sandman, we got Green Goblin, but this is like the Sinister Six. So who's the sixth villain that's gonna
Right.
like pop out?
Because they also have Lizard, who I'm not entirely
Yes,
convinced
Lizard,
is Lizard. I
Right.
wouldn't be surprised if that's Scorpion and they're hiding him.
Ooh,
They
maybe.
teased
We never
Scorpion
used
in the
Scorpion
first,
either.
and we haven't. And they could be saving him. We'll talk more about villains after going around. But yeah, either way, there's only 5 villains shown in this trailer.
Yes.
Maybe a 6th. It looks like we might see Harry Osborn at some point.
Probably because we did
School
see
shooter
like
looking Harry Osborn?
we saw a small shot of somebody else like on the glider,
Throwing the razor
Pumpkins and
things.
shit.
the pumpkin bombs. Like it's real faint, but I can definitely say that I am excited to see this. I'm just waiting to see Tobey Maguire, because I'm just gonna put all all the money on the table that this man is going to show up in this movie, and the entire theater is going to go fucking crazy because the last time he was Spider-Man was back in 2007, which was 14 years ago.
Good Lord.
Almost 15. And so folks were really saying like this is really gone past like Endgame and all the other movies that people were excited about, like just seeing Tobey Maguire being back on the big screen as our favorite.
Not a soul word about Andrew Garfield.
I mean,
No, not one.
Yeah.
How'd you feel about it, Jude?
I'm hype. Period. I love Spider-Man. I thought about getting Spider-Man tattoo tatted. Yes, another tattoo idea on the podcast. But I love Spider-Man. He's one of my favorite superheroes. I'm just excited for another Spider-Man movie and just bring it on.
Do we
Bring
have
all
a
this shit
Spider-Man
on.
comic on the table?
We do.
Okay, at
Yes,
the
we
bottom,
do.
at the bottom there. Thank you, Wes, for setting that up.
My nipples are ready.
Hey,
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that you specified that part of your
Cold.
Good.
Hard.
No, I get it.
Sharp.
Yo.
Poignant.
I'm hyped,
Poignant.
man. I saw the last Spider-Man twice. I saw it with a shorty and I saw it with you, Elizabeth, and Josh.
Oh,
Like a couple summers ago before COVID hit.
Yeah, that was fun.
It was a good time. And you was like, when
Jonah
Mysterio
Jameson.
Hall. Mysterio Hall.
Rey Mysterio. Arsenio Hall.
Mysterio was like revealed Peter Parker's identity,
Oh, yeah.
and you were just like,
Yeah.
nah.
I thought that was crazy. No, because someone had told me, like, wait till the end of the movie. Like, there's a cameo that, I think it was Danny, is like the cameo that will have you screaming. And then, J.K. Simmons shows up. He pops up in this trailer for half a second.
Yes, he
did.
This new version of his character. I hate to be a Debbie Downer on this podcast, y'all.
That's okay.
All right, fine.
I saw your post. I saw it.
Yeah,
I saw it.
haterade.
Here's the thing. I feel like
Yeah, what you feel?
what
You feel like what?
I feel
It
like,
doesn't matter how you feel.
no, I was gonna say I feel like most of the reason that people are excited for this is because the other Spider-Men are coming back, right? Like that's a big part of it. But that's going to be about 20 minutes of the movie.
Ahmad looks mortified.
That's going to be about 20 minutes of the movie at the very end when they come in to help fight the people. And that's going to look cool. Like, I mean, it's going to be great to see Tobey again. It'll be fine to see Andrew Garfield again. But I just feel like
You're ruining Christmas.
the story itself is concerning to me a little bit in terms of how they're going to pull all these pieces together. There's this idea that, like, okay, these villains who are coming out of the multiverse are all villains who have died in battle with Spider-Man, right? Even though it's kind of like iffy with that too, because like Doc Ock, for example, sacrificed himself, so that's not quite the same thing.
Yeah.
But Green Goblin, he got the glider. Okay, Electro
Definitely
blew up
killed himself
or something.
Electro
Sandman didn't
blew
die.
himself up.
Sandman just left. They basically dapped up, and Sandman was like, "Peace out."
Sandman ran away.
Yeah, which is why I feel like maybe that's another misdirect. There's so much in this trailer that, like,
Just let them make their magic.
But it's weird because they said that all of them died by Spider-Man.
right. That's
But
that's,
which Spider-Man? Is it him or is it some other
I
Spider-Man?
think the implication is that it could be any Spider-Man.
Or it can be also, any Spider-Man. And it's also, there's a whole multiverse idea. Not specifically Tobey Maguire
which will
or
tie
Garfield
into
verse,
the
Right.
multiverse
but
of
like,
madness.
they can all still be the same people. They look the same in different universes.
Sure. I mean, that's another part of the confusion too. Is that, like, with this casting, clearly what they've recognized is that most of Raimi's casting was pitch perfect. Like, they're bringing back Willem Dafoe, they're bringing back Alfred Molina, they're bringing back J.K. Simmons. Like, they realize that these guys are iconic. Sam Raimi hit the nail on the head with most of the casting. That being said, it also leaves a little bit of confusion because it feels like, where's the line drawn between this Dr. Octopus seems to be the exact same one that we saw in 2005. And maybe that Green Goblin is the same Norman Osborn. But if what you're saying is true, right? Like, if that's not the same Sandman, then it's like, that'll be another thing the movie has to explain. It's like, some of them are the villains you remember and the casting you remember, and some of them are just new versions of the same villain, and we're putting them all together in like a pot. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm kind of wondering how they're going to work that out. I mean, obviously Electro looks different. I don't know if that's supposed to be the
Yeah,
same.
he has
electric.
the classic,
He
like,
has the
electro
starfish,
face.
thing, and he doesn't look like a blue, Jolly Rancher.
Jolly Rancher.
I was
And a
just
cup
talking
of
about that
lean.
with my friend because she was like, "Oh, is that Jamie Foxx?" I say, "Yeah, I'm kind of glad he chose him to bring him back into his human form and not him looking like a blue alien."
Yeah.
You know, I was not a fan of that. But I mean, is this going to be the same universe of Andrew Garfield?
That's
Because
what's hard to tell.
because this is a different version of Electro, but the lizard looks the same. So
It's a
Right.
big ass
we'll
lizard.
see.
Not much you
That
can
is
do.
a big
He
ass
doesn't have the
lizard,
lab
so-
coat though. He still
He
doesn't
doesn't.
have the lab coat or the purple pants.
Right.
Yo, this is what Justin gets upset about. It's like, this nigga's not wearing the same clothes in the comic book. That's how you know Justin about it.
Right now. He's
I got hot, and I usually like to get hot on the podcast. I'll turn it down. But no, I mean, it is interesting to see what choices they make with these characters, right? Sometimes they go, like with Electro. Yeah, he has the starfish face, but it lights up when he uses his powers.
Yeah, that's cool.
Which is an interesting way of adapting it. Lizard's just naked.
I
He's just
appreciate
swinging
how
his-
Jamie Foxx still has his hairline. You know, I don't. We'll have that like weird Jamie Foxx that is just sad. You
Yeah.
have Jamie Foxx. You know, like
and he's a charming, good-looking actor. Like you wanna
can
see
do
his
that.
face. Yeah,
Jamie Foxx will sing while he's Electro.
Yeah,
Just
absolutely.
like-
I'm about to buzz you.
fuck you, fuck you, Spider-Man.
I'm about to shock you.
Blame it on
Shock you,
the
shock you.
electricity. Blame it on the electricity.
Don't give them any ideas. Apparently, they were rewriting the script. Like, Wes
Yeah.
just sent this to us. They were rewriting the script like in production.
They
like,
said
almost
that they
every
were
day.
rewriting it, rewriting the ending as well. So I'm like, what the fuck was it going
It's
to
a
be
little bit
before?
of a red flag, but we'll see what happens. I mean,
He said a little bit.
I'm trying to be optimistic because I've been a downer. But obviously, I'm going to go see it. In fact, I'm
Be
probably
outside.
helping organize a bit of a class trip to it for one of the Men of Color organization on my campus. Shout out to Alma. But yeah, I mean, I have some concerns about how the story is going to turn out because it seems like a lot of what we're being presented with is like
Just let it
it's-
rock. Just let
it's
it
all the
rock.
familiar
We let
faces.
Shang-Chi rock. That was fire.
Shang-Chi.
Just let this rock.
You're right. Listen, the thing is, the last thing I'll say is that I just can't. At the end of the day, I can't maintain the same level of excitement for everything because by the time we get to Avengers 7, you know what I mean, like or whatever that's going to be. Like everything can't be the same level of hype for me. So that's why I'm
Yeah.
approaching this with a little bit of trepidation. But
Well-
it's going to be 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Yes, it will be, and I'm excited about that.
Me and Stephanie are gonna have like 2 big ass motherfucking things of popcorn.
Yes, and
Just
you know
chilling.
what? I'm definitely gonna bring a mixer in that theater because I'm gonna be really hyped when I'm seeing this, but I'm gonna get a little buzzed. Okay, so
You're inspiring
once
me to bring my pen.
I am encouraging everybody
You
to
gonna
be
bring a little red cup, a little red solo. What
a thermos.
we watching in here? Mom pull up in the theater.
Gonna pull up in there. You look just like your mama, baby. Sit your ass over there. You in my seat. It's reserved.
In the recliner.
Popping up. I got the cashews in my hands, just popping them.
That's your go-to movie snack?
No.
What is your go-to movie snack?
Popcorns all day.
I like
Popcorn all
Raisinets. I know that's weird,
What?
but I like Raisinets.
I can see that. I can see that.
I can see that from
That's
you. I'm a Junior Mint guy, but like
And you were about to grill me for
I'm
eating
grilling you for Raisinets.
Raisinets.
But
I don't like
Junior Mints is
Junior
Junior
Mint.
Mints.
I
Chocolate
don't-
mint is fire. What are you talking about?
I do not like mint chocolate.
Yo, Wes. Back me up. Yo, fuck
I
y'all
do
niggas.
not
Yo.
like mint chocolate.
Mint and chocolate. Are you
Listen, I like mint hot chocolate, so maybe I would like Junior Mints.
Mint hot chocolate
your
is
peppermint
something,
patties,
but
thin mints,
fuck that. Sorry.
peppermint bark for Christmas. Fuck y'all. Oh
I'm
my
sorry.
God.
Literally everybody that I know who buys Girl Scout cookies, their first choice is Thin Mints, and I go, why the fuck is this on the table?
Samoa's is
Get this out of my
Thin Mints
house
is crack.
now. Get it out of my house.
Samoas, I love. I love those cookies. Samoas, they are great. Thin Mints, stop it. I still love y'all, but I just never had a love for ever since I had my first Thin Mint.
This is Ahmad's new boycott is against Thin Mints, and I
It's still against Casamigos. Y'all still need to stop that shit. Fuck is wrong with y'all? I'm gonna smack you on the back of y'all neck meat. Okay, keep playing with me. Keep playing with me.
He'll do it.
Keep playing.
Ahmad is like Candyman, except instead of killing you when you say his name 5 times, he shows up and just claps you on the back of the head,
and I just disappear, right behind him.
Right.
The mic
with the ring hand, with the ring turned inside, right on the dome piece. Put that bottle down.
Put that shit back.
He shows up in your drunk dreams. Why'd you drink that shit?
I told you to leave it alone.
Now look at you.
But the last thing,
you look like DaBaby and Danny Lay, getting bitches pregnant for no reason.
That will segue into the next
yes.
one. But last thing I'll say about Spider-Man is, I think this will definitely segue right into the Multiverse of Madness that will have Scarlet Witch and Doctor Strange, because if you see like at the end of the trailer, you see how like he says he cannot stop it. So I'm sure this will not be a happy ending. This will definitely go right into Multiverse of Madness.
And Multiverse of Madness comes out. I'm sorry to interrupt.
That's in February.
That's in February. Oh, right around the corner. Like 2 months later. So what's in January then? Or are they taking a break?
There's nothing in January. Yeah, it's just gonna be, Spider-Man and then Multiverse of Madness, which will be very brutal from what we've been told.
I just want Blade to come out already.
He might be making his first appearance in Moon Knight. So
when's that?
I don't know.
Must be next year.
Next summer probably.
That has to be
that's a movie or a show?
A show.
Fun.
So that'll be cool.
That'd be exciting.
I'm more interested in a lot of the TV shows coming out right now.
Me too.
Than the movies.
Like She-Hulk and shit.
Yeah, but moving forward, let's get into DaBaby.
Jonathan Kirk.
I forget that's his name.
Jonathan Kirk.
So Jonathan is in a bit of a pickle with his baby mother Danny Lay.
A pickle.
One of many baby mothers.
Yes,
like 3.
And I can't say that I've listened to a lot of Danny Lay's music. Does she make music?
She makes music, but she's not that talented.
Oh well.
Yellowbone, that's what he want.
She has a song with what's the singer name? Chris Brown. It's just cool. I honestly just heard of Danny Lay when she did the Drake challenge. Kiki, do you love me?
Okay,
that one.
Got it.
And I was like, damn, she fire. But like, she's just hot and is on Instagram and knows how to use it.
She cute. She cute.
But like.
Yeah, well, it looks like they had a bit of an altercation that, of course, was on Instagram Live because everything is these days.
Ghetto.
And DaBaby, Jonathan Kirk.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
This man is a menace.
He tried to, without notice,
yes.
he tried to basically kick Danny Lay out of the house. And they're like 3-month-old child, like very young infant.
Yeah.
With no clear explanation. She suspects that he was trying to have somebody else over. And he wanted the house and was telling her to go to a hotel as opposed to just getting a hotel for himself and leaving the mother of his child.
So like,
leaving the mother of his child in her home where she's comfortable. But that being said, it escalated to a fever pitch. Apparently, DaBaby called the police and
all the shit
be
he
a whole
said.
lot more of those.
He said "fuck a cop car," the biggest song of the summer during the pandemic. He said "fuck a cop car." It was like, "Yo, police, help! Police, help! Police, help! Help!
Police, help!"
And I don't know if either of them are pursuing. I didn't keep up with. I think
she's getting charged. She's getting charged for misdemeanor assault. Yeah. 2 charges of misdemeanor assault.
Yeah. Now this is interesting because obviously Jonathan Kirk has been on a bit of a tear this year. He came under fire earlier for making some homophobic comments at
Dave Chappelle's upset.
Rolling Loud, was it?
Yeah, Rolling Loud.
Yeah, Dave Chappelle's like,
he said, "I just defended you. You
10 toes behind it, man. 10 toes. I made myself look like a fool. They was calling me down to Netflix to have meetings."
When did Justin have a Dave Chappelle impression?
Niggas. He's just.
It's so bad that that fucking died. The camera died, and we do not have that footage. God damn it, niggas.
We're gonna have to start filming this on our iPhones because.
Wait. Do this again. I'm sorry. That was great.
Baby, why I just get off the phone and I hear you charging your wife with assault? kicking her out the house, having her arrested. I just stuck my neck out for you. I turned down $50 million. It's just Dave Chappelle like in the living room yelling while his wife and son are on the couch. I'm tired of this.
This is a good day on HBO, nigga.
Anyway,
Oh my
I'm gonna die on recording.
We have to do Dave Chappelle and Jay-Z on a phone call.
Wait, who can do a Jay-Z impression?
He's got the Jay-Z.
You got a whole impression? What?
Shit.
Wait, come here. We gotta get on the show. Everybody, we got Jay-Z up in the house at HBO Podcast. Yo, Ho, what's up?
Yo, Jude, I'm so glad you invited me on here. It's been so great to be here on HBO.
Jay, I meant to call you the other night, man.
Yo, Dave, what's up?
You hear about
How you doing?
You hear about what this nigga DaBaby did, man?
Yeah, he's wilding for that.
I'm actually
he's
moving.
wilding.
I'm moving
Y'all
into.
over there talking shit about me. Y'all ain't talking no shit about me. Y'all over there talking shit about me, bro. This is baby, bro. What the fuck is you talking about, bro? Davy's a bitch. You know what I'm saying? She's my baby mama. She's a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, this is a fucking camera on my face, bro.
Bro, he really doesn't open his mouth when he speaks.
He does not.
That's the funniest part.
She was
Hey,
like,
chewing gum the whole time.
he was just. She said, do you love me? He was like,
DaBaby came out the womb chewing Trident. Orbit.
and he's like, it's a boy. He had like a pack of Trident in his hand. He was gripping that bitch.
Toward the end there, my Chappelle started turning into Terrence Howard. So I got it.
Oh, that's funny, man.
Man, come on, DaBaby, man. You can't just be out here.
Come on, the baby.
It's me, T-How, man. It's your Uncle Terrence, man.
They kicked me off of Iron Man, man.
They wasn't paying me enough, but I helped that nigga Robert get on.
It's hard out here for a pimp, man.
I said, Bobby, you better take this role, man. Stop doing that smack.
Bro, I thought we was talking about this interview about me, bro. This Mr. Baby, bro. All right, so let's
Anyway, we are off the rails.
Anyways,
but,
bonus features.
yeah, for real. No, but I feel like I was gonna make a point before all of
We
that.
are gonna make a point.
Danny Lay has referred to DaBaby as evil. She's called him straight up evil. And,
Interesting.
And you know,
You let that evil dick inside you. You should have known.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
She white. She don't care.
not she's white.
She ain't think twice.
She has as much color as a Ritz cracker. So you are correct.
She's bright. You know what?
Light,
I
bright,
actually
2 shades of being white.
I actually saw on Twitter in a conversation about this whole thing. There was this one comment that said, you know, SMH, she thought she had the complexion for protection.
Wow.
Paul Mooney. Rest in peace, Paul Mooney.
Paul Mooney line.
Yep.
He said that?
That's the complexion
When did he
for
say
the
that?
protection of the collection. That was in one of his stand-ups. That was in one of his
That's
stand-up
OG
specials.
right there. I love Paul Mooney.
Like it's so fucking true. Like once you have that complexion, you are protected by the industry by any means necessary. You are
But
protected.
not necessarily by your significant other, right?
No.
I mean, we
That
know
is very true.
DaBaby has
And he's dark, so it just took all that away.
That's a
That's a nigga upon niggas. There's like, who's like, yo, not for nothing. I was talking to my homeboy Putman about this. Yo, Putty. He said that DaBaby is the new Gucci Mane. Because Gucci Mane was a boogeyman back in the day. You know what happened with Gucci Mane, right?
Did he kill somebody?
Yeah, so he had a beef with Young Jeezy. And I forgot the initial part of the beef. But Jeezy, it was so hot that Jeezy sent niggas to his crib. There was a chick in there who was in on it. Dudes came in, tried to rob him. And out of self-defense, he killed one of them. And he made songs about it. And this is Jeezy's man.
Oh, yeah, that's why there was beef.
Yeah.
during the verses, yeah.
And fucking this dude over here has killed someone in Walmart out of self-defense. And has repeatedly assaulted people on camera. There was a dude when DaBaby first came out. I think he beat him up in a Gucci store with his phone in his. Remember that?
I remember
with
that.
a phone in his hand, beat the shit out of him and bounced. And then he's always yes, and always punching fans.
Yeah.
Like he's just a wild evil demon. He's super future.
Some woman literally had She like flashed the light in his face. She was trying to record like, "Hey, DaBaby," and he just went popped a rat right in her mouth. And he was like, but of course, personal space. But damn,
You could do a mush.
you can
mush.
do a mush. But he decided to
That's also what you
take
have
it there.
security for. Like when you do it
But
yourself.
he's wildin'. He just like stage dives. He out there.
Yeah.
So like, like security is gone. Like
I
he's
feel
like a
you.
cockroach or like a mouse. He's athletic, so he can just fly.
You think it has something to
Yes,
do with how
athletic
short people
animals,
are so aggressive?
Yes. How
People
short
are
is
so
he?
aggressive.
He's
He's
like,
like
what,
5'3".
He's 5'3".
I don't know.
I was
that,
gonna
was
make him
that was like an educated guess, but if I'm right, I'm
Yo,
gonna laugh.
Justin, survey says.
I got y'all. Standing at a reported 5'8". He's only a little bit shorter than you.
He's my height.
Are you 5'8"? I thought you were.
I'm 5'8".
Oh yes. Yeah, so
I think it's because remember what I said about the whole muscle thing? The more brolic you look and short you are, the shorter you look.
right.
So we all think The Rock is like 5'11", but he's 6'5".
Yeah. That's
Same
true.
shit.
That's true. It's a principle. But yeah, I mean, it's actually ties into what we'll get into later in our main segment, the relationship between fans and artists when we talk about this Astroworld
Madness.
fiasco.
No, I need to say something though about Danny Lay and DaBaby, because listen, I've had moments in my life where things got scary with a child.
Sure.
That kid needs to get up for adoption. Here's why: neither of those motherfuckers are mentally ready to be parents. Who am I to say that? I don't know. I'm just a dude on a podcast. But judging from the parenting that I had with my mom and you and your parents and you and your parents and you and your parents, they were seemingly mentally ready to have us. They were established, they were educated, and they thought about shit and experienced life in all of its ups and downs and twists and turns, and were like, I am ready now to have a kid.
Or at least they were committed to figuring it
And
out.
committed to figuring it out. I'm not saying that those two can't do that, but if you are on Instagram Live and getting into spats and calling her a certified side bitch, you are not ready to be a fucking father. And if you are a woman and let that happen, you are not ready to be a mother either. You need to take your child seriously. Raising a kid is fucking serious. You are raising a human being. That human being is going to grow into an adult. Do you want to bring into this world a person with trauma, trust issues, anger, and the inability to communicate their feelings? Do you want to do that shit? And just because it's what you always wanted is to have a child. People want to have kids and not want to be fucking parents. Take parenting seriously. You are not just raising your child, your heavenly spawn, the best thing that ever happened to you. You're not raising a little king or queen. You're not raising those motherfuckers. You're not. Your kid's not King Arthur, nigga. Your kid is going to be a citizen of this planet. Take that shit seriously. You don't want to put in a bad apple. A kid is a 50-50 shot of having Hitler and having Martin Luther King.
Oh,
I'm so dead ass. It is a 50-50 shot. Your kid could either be Jeffrey Dahmer or Al Sharpton.
oh my God.
I swear to God. Listen.
That's like, I'm seeing Al Sharpton all the way over there. And then Jeffrey Dahmer all the way over there.
Yeah.
Damn.
Could be Ted Bundy or Ted Cruz. Wait a minute.
Ted Bundy.
Those are both serial killers.
Ted
well.
Bundy or Theodore Roosevelt or some shit. And
already
she
has
should
a little
know
girl.
immediately. Like, yo, he already has a kid and he treats her like that. You are coming into this. You see how he's with these other women. Should he be like, do I want this nigga to be like that? Like, it's fun dick to have every now and then, but like, this is for life.
Right.
Now, it's not taking responsibility away from DaBaby, but also as a woman, and I was watching Lonnie Love say this, I don't know why I was watching it, I saw it on Shade Room, that a woman should have her own shit. You should have your own crib, and you have the money for that. People think you have to be financially stable to have a kid. You have to be mentally adequate. You can have emotional issues and have a kid. Like, people have depression, medically diagnosed depression, and they have children and are constantly working on themselves to raise their child properly.
Yeah.
Right? And you're never quote unquote ready to have kids, but there is this bullshit and being somewhat ready or prepared.
Capable.
Or your seatbelt is buckled on the flight to have a fucking kid.
Let me say this. That's all amazing and all that. But if you are DaBaby and you have a smooth mouthpiece, you got a deep voice, and you got your talking points like that, and you know who you are, and you're confident as to who you are, that's all it takes for you for this dude to get any woman. And he was definitely hitting them shits with Danny, which made her kept coming back to him, which made her fall in love with this man.
Yeah.
And so that all goes out the window if you're a man that knows how to talk game. And she got caught up.
This is why you need friends
And
of the
then she
opposite
got
sex.
stuck up and, fucked up. But yeah, but that's how it is right now. But I completely agree with everything that you're saying.
Yeah.
100%. This baby will have a lot of trauma when this baby gets older, especially with the daughter already. He is just a horrible human being. I would not want to meet that guy. I would not want to meet him.
All I know is that baby's stressed. That baby is 3 months old. Like, yo, these motherfuckers.
I feel like if I was to ever
Baby
meet
smoking
him,
cigarettes in the crib, like, can't.
That kid's gonna like start drinking whiskey and shit. Just straight up like neat Jack Daniels.
No rocks.
No rocks.
the
Yeah.
funny thing about the New York Post was their first line. It was literally their first sentence about Danny Lay and DaBaby. It says, persistently problematic rapper DaBaby.
Persistently. Yo, did someone black write that? Persistently
I have no
problematic?
idea. Yes,
That's like if you got roasted by Dr. Seuss.
Word.
Rita Wiggle.
That was the person who wrote it?
Yep.
Rito Wiggle.
Shout out.
Wiggle. something like that, but
Wiggle. From
damn.
Australia, he wear a colored shirt.
And then they go into astrology, but
They go into astrology? Oh my
about
God.
them too. It's dumb now, but yeah.
Well, I think DaBaby.
That makes you want to take a
time
fucking
to be
Xanax. My God.
the man. You know what I mean?
You should cut your microphone off.
Yeah, you're right. Let me
you
just.
go.
Yeah.
The baby really.
DaBaby and Danny, please stop the shit.
The baby
Get
look
it
like an
together.
Attack on Titan.
He do. Yeah, well, there's that meme that edits him into the show with the smile. Yeah. Well, you mentioned Kanye briefly, and we can just real quick talk about because this will tie into Astroworld, of course, later on anyway. But he's squashed this beef that this beef, quote unquote, the softest beef in rap history.
Thanks to Drink Champs. You know what the softest beef in rap history is, honestly, though, to be honest with you? It's Common versus Ice Cube. It just didn't make sense.
Oh.
Common had a serious rap beef with Ice Cube, and he made a song called The Bitch in You. And I'm like, bro,
That doesn't-
Common,
yeah.
relax. This is before, this is like before we were born, like 2-3 years before we were born. And I'm just like, Common, what are you doing?
Common, you should-
wear knitted hats.
Literally, you should be down at the New
You-
Eurekan performing
You
spoken
wear
word.
crocheted hats. I saw an episode of Sub Sitcom. Common was on there at a poetry slam
Yeah,
doing this.
yeah. That's
Why
not
are you
someone
beefing with
you-
Ice Cube?
You battle rap with necessarily, well, especially not with Ice Cube. Yeah, that's two different types of rappers entirely. But yeah, him and Drake are apparently on speaking terms again after a summer of contention between their two
Contention?
albums and all these rumors about who Kim is sleeping with and she.
Pete Davidson?
Well, yeah. That's I think
That's
what
a
united
curve.
them. That's what united them was like, all right, Pete Davidson.
She's fucking one of these funny ass niggas.
Pete Davidson is knocking my ex-wife down, so I need a friend in this time. But yeah, Drink Champs is apparently
Shout out to Noriega. We should go on there one day. I hope.
I'm sure
that'd
it would be a
fucking
lot of fun.
hilarious.
I'm sure it'd be a lot of
It
fun.
would be mad funny.
You just get to drink and talk, for 2 hours or however long. And it was interesting just him talking about like making that group chat and telling everyone like with like 30 rappers and celebrities and being like, I'm worth more than all of y'all in here combined.
And all your clothes look homeless.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting contrast, right?
It's amazing.
Yeah, but I guess I didn't know if y'all had any thoughts about the Kanye Drake beef. If not, then we can.
I honestly I really do not, because I didn't even know they had beef with each other in the first place. See, this is why I drift away from all these drama, drama that happened in Hollywood. Like Drake and Kanye, I feel like Kanye just stays in his own lane, and then people just try to fuck it up, aka Soulja Boy. Soulja Boy, he's
Soulja Boy, the first rapper ever. What are you talking about?
he was the first historian. You know, he did everything.
Soulja Boy was actually the first man
He was.
in the Bible.
Yo, Soldier Boy's Adam.
Adam
He
is
had
a translation of Soulja
He
Boy.
made the flow.
You know who was Eve? Soldier Girl.
Also Soulja Boy. It's Adam and Eve, not Soulja Boy and Soulja Boy.
It's the black version of like the anti-gay rallies. It's not Soldier Boy, it's Soldier Boy.
I just don't know, like, what
What
the
to
fuck is
say.
going
Yeah,
on
who
now?
cares?
Like, nobody gives a shit. And it's just like, what I really want, nothing. I just want shit to stop. You know, that's all. That's all it is.
Yo, both those albums were not that good this summer. Certified Lover Boy isn't that great. I like Way Too Sexy. It's just fucking funny. I like what was it? It was Poppy's Home because it's the hot nigga anthem.
Right.
Knife Talk is that violence I like, and that's it. Kanye is it just don't make sense to me. I just heard it and I was just, you know what? I'm boycotting this. This is 100 songs long. I'm not listening to this shit. And he just put out the deluxe version. I don't care.
I still haven't listened to Donda.
The album was cool. It's literally a gospel rap album. Like, let's just be honest. There were some songs that I liked, some songs that were like, meh. But with the deluxe album, I didn't even know that it came out. So
There's an
song
Andre
has-
3K
yeah, that's what I was about to say.
track on it.
all right, so fuck it.
You like Andre?
I'll see it.
Yeah, I'm a fan of 3 Stacks. Let's go to In This Corner real quick and just spend 10-15 minutes just recapping UFC 2.
The anxiety-inducing UFC that went over.
Yeah, man.
My heart was pounding out of my chest.
Yeah.
Because it looked like Colby could come back. And I was like, fuck.
For those of you who don't recall, UFC 268 was the event that we were talking about on the show last week, or last episode, rather, featuring a bunch of dynamic fights. But the three main events were Michael Chandler versus Justin Gaethje, Weili Zhang versus Rose Namajunas, and, of course, Colby Covington versus Kamaru Usman for the welterweight championship belt. It was a night of great fights. It really was. Jude and I watched it together at our dojo. Also, the Canelo Alvarez, Richard, what was that guy's name?
Caleb something.
Plant. It was Plant.
Caleb Plant. Yeah,
But I said Caleb Smack because he got smacked in the press conference.
He got smacked in the press conference.
But that was the same night I didn't even know. Of course, Canelo won. No one is surprised by that.
He knocked this poor boy out.
Yeah, waiting for him to fight someone who's on his level
He's
again.
going to fight Tyson Fury. He's going to gain like 60 pounds and fight Tyson Fury.
At this point, why not?
Or there's the whole thing that Kamaru brought up is he may want to box Canelo. And Canelo's interested because that is big money, you know. The UFC world and boxing world collide, and finally some boxing can get some excitement. But Canelo's going to beat that
Kamaru
nigga
will get
ass.
laid out. Yeah, Kamaru's done. That's not...
Listen,
that's
and
not
Kamaru got a big head, but
that's not a fight.
Canelo is just a scary, scary man.
Yeah. Where Kamaru's career is right now, that could only hurt him. Like, literally, physically, long term, and also in terms of his
He'll
image.
lose a lot of fights after that.
Yeah. So I would not encourage him to do that.
If he fights him, Canelo should just hit him in the body, because the brain damage that will ensue.
Yeah. Yeah. And people forget, this is why in the UFC they don't call it boxing; they call it striking. Boxing is a specific form of punching. And it's not the same thing. When you learn striking in MMA, you're learning it with awareness of kicks, grappling, takedowns, all this stuff. When you learn it in boxing, you're only worried about your torso and your arms, and obviously using your legs to power stuff. But so that's why boxing looks so much more technical, and some people think it has less power, but like, as opposed to when you see these winding punches the UFC does. But
I don't think there's less power.
No, there's not.
Damage ensuing from 4-ounce gloves and 12-ounce gloves, or 14-ounce gloves, or 12-ounce gloves, I forgot what regulation was, is significantly different. The damage that'll happen to your face will be worse with a MMA glove.
Yeah.
Now, I just don't want to see Kamaru get hurt like that. I won't see anybody get hurt like that because Canelo's just different.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, I think that for the most part, Ahmad, I know you didn't get to watch the fights in
Let's
full.
talk about the fights.
But But they were cool. Gaethje won his match with Chandler.
Violence.
Yeah, Chandler didn't get knocked out, but it was a pretty one-sided performance, especially towards.
He had him in the first round, but got like smoked in the second. Like these leg kicks that he was laying on him was insane.
Yeah,
and Chandler's face just looked like Elephant Man after this fight.
Yeah, swole up,
you know.
red and
but
everything.
the cool thing about Michael Chandler though is I've heard through Instagram MMA Instagram is his stock didn't drop, and it didn't because he won the night. Because when you're losing a fight, you want to win the night, so you want to be the most exciting.
Put on
like,
the performance.
He lost, but like that shit was crazy.
Yeah.
So he was able to rile up, get the fans involved, rile them up, do whatever, and still come at Gaethje and not get knocked out. If he got knocked out, then his stock would have dropped.
Yeah.
But the fact that he can just bite down on his mouthpiece and continue going, it just shows a lot. It's commendable, and he still had the ability to call out who he wants. Now, not the champion or the number 2 contender or whatever, or Gaethje again, but someone within the top 10, and he called out Conor McGregor. And I think that makes a lot of sense because McGregor losing 2 fights in a row has, the Twizzler leg, and he hasn't been winning these last few fights. I'm just like, well, that just makes sense to me.
Yeah. I think that would be an interesting fight to make. I was very happy about watching Zhang and Namajunas because I think that it was a much more even fight, and it was a fight that I was expecting the first time around. I think the fight that Wiley was also expecting the first time around. And again, when you talk about stock, I think her stock is pretty much the same because she ended it with respect. She didn't get knocked out. She got held down on the ground pretty much. She couldn't regain footing, but she said, "I just wanted to come here and show my skill."
Yeah, it was honorable.
I'm glad
I
did that. And it was a good fight. Zhang looked like she had her more than a few times.
Of course.
But Namajunas, I think her ground game in terms of her top control is just a little bit more
superior
than Zhang was able to handle. So a great fight between them, and then coming to the rematch between Chaos Covington and the Nigerian Nightmare Usman, which Usman has improved a lot, so he looked a lot sharper than he did in their first fight in terms of his technique. But like you said at the beginning, there were moments where it was like, don't sleep. You know what I mean? Don't sleep on Chaos. He is still a dangerous fighter.
I would like to see Kamaru use a little bit more kicks.
Yeah, for sure. I think he definitely has the capability to mess up somebody's legs. If he
Trevor Whitman is more of a boxing guy, but I still think he still has other striking coaches. You can't just have a boxing coach.
Yeah.
I mean, you can have your main coach, which is Trevor Whitman, come up with the whole game plan, but utilize your strengths. Longest weapon, nearest target. Use those leg kicks. Use those side kicks. Just establish your range to not get hit and to mix up other combinations, because a kick will introduce those punches, or punches will introduce a kick. I want to see more variety out of that. Just use your whole body. Show what MMA is. He didn't have to use. I mean, he didn't really have to use his wrestling because, like, Colby Covington is a highly decorated wrestler. Kamaru Usman's a highly decorated wrestler. So there's that saying where they just cancel each other out. So it's just striking after a while. But I think he hurt him in the second and was able to take him down and was able to defend some takedowns as well. But I just personally would like to see just more variety. Use your kicks more. You don't need to be creative. You're not Israel Adesanya, but use all your weapons,
Yeah. Agreed. Of course, now Usman is suggesting that if the UFC paid him $100 million, he would think about sparring with Adesanya, so to speak, sparring.
Adesanya will whoop that nigga ass.
Yeah, he probably.
Well, nah.
He probably
Wrestling though.
The wrestling
is
on
a
Usman's
thing.
side. But Adesanya's takedown defense is
Adesanya's defense is pretty good. But I would say but Kamaru has fallen in love with his striking a little bit, as I heard from other fighters in his weight class. What's his name? Leon Edwards. Leon Edwards is talking some smack. I'm like, boy, just shut up, shut up. But who else is gonna fight? Because it's kind of quiet in the welterweight division right now. It would be an even matchup, but I really think though that Adesanya will keep him away from him.
Yeah,
because
difficult to outstrike.
Is
that dude.
superior. His striking is superior. It's beautiful to watch.
Yeah.
His jab, sexy. His kicks, sexy. Like, come on, yo.
Yeah, I mean, the real fight to see will be him rematching his oldest rival, the one man who's ever put him to sleep.
Yeah, and he fought that night too, and he was in trouble a lot. It was only 2 rounds. What's his name? Alex Pereira. Alex Pereira got took down a lot, was held down for a while, and not a lot of damage was happening to him on the ground. He was just being held down.
Yeah,
but he was able in the second round. They should not have made. They should have just been one long round because that's the only way this nigga would have won. The fact you can just get him back on the feet, came out with a few jabs and was able to hit him with the sneakiest flying knee I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And he just crumbled.
yeah. I mean, that'll be an interesting fight to see in the near future. I think Adesanya said after what do you say, after 4 more fights for Pereira,
That's fair.
which I think is cool. You want to see how he's adjusting to the UFC, whether it's even a fight worth making.
Yeah, absolutely. And Adesanya is fighting Robert Whittaker in February.
Yes.
I'm excited for any Izzy fight. I'm in there like swimwear.
Yeah.
Pause.
It'd be nice to go to a UFC event. We were talking about this at the dojo though. It's like those tickets are ridiculous. But to get anything actually close to the arena is obviously exorbitant. So you pay regular entry just to sit in the nosebleeds and watch it on TV. Anyway, you're watching the jumbos. You may as well stay home and pay-per-view or just stream it, which is what we were doing.
I would have been happy to pay.
Yeah, no, it's always cool to chip in and watch. But even then, sometimes the pay-per-view still
We don't need to give these crackers all our money. I understand.
glitches up. So, But yeah, I guess that'll do it for our opening. We'll take a brief break and then come back to talk about Travis Scott. All right, folks, welcome back.
We back.
Yes, we are.
We're back.
And for our last few minutes here, we're going to get into the tragedy that ensued at Astroworld in Houston, Texas. This is, I guess it's about a week and a half ago.
Yeah, love and respect to all the families affected by this.
Yeah, I'm sure you've heard of it. It's been all over, the news cycle. This Astroworld festival that it had a bunch of different musicians at it, but it was organized
By
by Travis Scott
and Live Nation.
Yes, and under his brand. So this article is particularly about the progression of the night. It says the signs of trouble were evident hours before the deadly crowd surge at the Astroworld Music Festival 1 week ago, according to Houston Fire Department logs. Shortly after the 9 a.m. start of the November 5th festival, spectators had already breached the main gate. The handwritten logs obtained by CNN on Friday's show. At least 8 more breaches would be reported throughout the day, with 3,000 to 5,000 concert goers who were not scanned entering the venue by 5:05 p.m. And then a crowd surge at the popular event would eventually lead to 9 deaths, dozens of lawsuits, and a slew of still unanswered questions about what went wrong. So I guess I'm curious, before we get into, more of this experience and more of Travis Scott's personal history at concerts, and maybe a conversation about crazy fans in general, how did y'all hear about this?
I heard it just like most people hear shit now, Instagram, and Twitter. I saw it and I was like, oh fuck, because I had a few homies over there, not like close friends or anything, but just people I know. And first thing I did was hit them up like, yo, y'all good?
Yeah.
And luckily my friends are alive.
Yeah.
But that's how I heard about it, and I immediately felt the urge to kind of the primal lizard urge to immediately go after Travis Scott and to just put blame somewhere. But there's a combination of people, but of course he's one of them to blame. We'll get into that later, but that's how I initially heard about it.
Yeah.
I heard this from Twitter, and my first reaction to it was like, what the fuck?
Salud.
Bless you. Me watching some of his old videos of his old concerts, you'll see mosh pits happening, and those things come about, but I have not. I did not know how brutal his fans can be.
Yeah.
And the one thing I didn't like was how people were comparing it to Michael Jackson's concerts.
That's different.
Because that is
Were they?
extremely different. Because they were saying how people were like passing out in these Travis Scott concerts and all that, and people were like, well, people were fainting in these Michael Jackson concerts. I said people were fainting because they saw this man with their own eyes.
Their excitement.
They were excited, so they fainted. Nobody died at his concerts. Nobody
Michael Jackson. We've talked about this. Michael Jackson would stand still and people would pass
exactly.
out. Let
Like,
alone start moshing.
Nobody would die in
Niggas
his
catch the Holy
concerts.
Spirit with Michael Jackson.
Exactly. No. Yeah, nobody dies. People
Yeah.
catch it.
They might see God.
They see the light by accident. They see the light by accident.
But it's just the lights from the stage.
Exactly.
Of course, he is honestly like one of. He is a talented, amazing artist. He's an amazing artist, but the way he runs things with his fans and how free he wants his fans to be is very problematic, and he needs to like dial it back a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, I get it, you full of excitement. You want your fans to just go out and just do whatever the fuck they want to do because you have that power. But yeah, you have that power to tell them to stop. You have that power to tell them to just like relax. But no, you want them to keep on listening to your music and jam out. And so right now, well, for the past several years, you haven't been like a positive figure to your fans, but your fans don't give a fuck about all that. They just want you to keep on making music. My heart goes out to all the families whose members have passed away, and for the hundreds of people who were injured during this 2-day festival. It's very disheartening, and for Travis Scott, I got nothing to say to that man right there. I just know that he's in a world of trouble right now, and I don't think any celebrity is going to be there to help him out.
Well, except for the super rich family he's married into, probably.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I mean,
other than
Stealing
that,
money
yeah.
out of Kylie Jenner's purse. But
they used to demonic black men.
Yes, indeed. And as far as me, like I think it was kind of a belated realization, because I was on Twitter and I checked the not the For You page, the trending page, and it was like one of the main story. But I didn't I just saw Travis Scott in Astroworld, and I immediately glazed over. I mean, I listened to some Travis Scott.
Whatever, butterfly effect.
Yeah, exactly. And then I think it was when you started sending some Instagram posts to our group chat, and I was like, wait, what's going on? And then I started, and then you were texting us on iMessage. So then it was like an avalanche effect, and I realized, oh, this is serious. Yeah, I think as a celebrity who commands as much passion as Travis Scott clearly does, right, from his fans, and who commands as much respect, and who has that much authority, you can't acknowledge that by being you can't be like, oh yeah, my fans do whatever I say, and then also disavow responsibility for the tragedies that occur at your events.
Uncle Ben shit. Great power comes with great responsibility.
Literally, we were just talking about Spider-Man, right? This is. I mean, it's simple and it's cliche, but that is a fact. You can't. It doesn't.
Excuse you.
It's not logical. And I know that there are a lot of people who will say, so we're having this conversation even at the dojo, he's one dude. He's on a stage performing for however many people were there.
It's 50,000.
50,000 people.
But you have the responsibility to ensure everything. Your name is on the card. This is your show.
It's coming on
the
your
UFC is responsible for the security of what goes on in their shows. The Knicks or Madison Square Garden is responsible. In this house, under this roof, past these lines, we are responsible for your life, with security, with whatever. They're responsible. Astroworld, Live Nation, and Travis Scott are responsible for security and how these people operate. And they should have listened to the police once they heard all these concerns. Travis Scott disregarded that. Like, oh, my friends are being fans. Like, it's lit. But they didn't anticipate or think about this is the first big show after COVID, yo.
That's the other factor, too.
So everyone is inside these dormant little volcanoes. And you have a bunch of little dormant volcanoes ready to erupt.
Yeah. And especially when you have a fan culture like Travis's, right, which encourages this outward display of like aggression and rage. You know, I'm reading now.
It's for the rages. Like, bro, what are you doing?
Yeah. I'm picking this up from LA Times, talking about some of his past concert chaos. And even as recently as 2019, he posted a video on Instagram of fans storming barricades at one of his shows. And he says, "The youth them control the frequency. Everyone have fun, ragers set tone when I come out tonight. Be safe, rage hard." An incongruous statement. Those things can't happen at the same time. And then he said, and captioned it with all capital letters.
All that nigga does is scream.
Yeah, literally. And then 3 people were hospitalized following a crowd stampede over security barriers at that same festival. So that's my whole thing with this, right? Is that like disregarding what he could have or couldn't have done during the show, even though, of course, what started to circulate after is a lot of footage of plenty of other musicians saying, "Stop, someone needs help." Yeah. You know what I mean?
And he had a video of him saying, "Stop, people need help." But there's also footage of him doing his dance or whatever, and people are being like crowd surfed into an ambulance.
Yeah. It's. I just think, regardless, once you see police lights in your crowd, the show's over. Like, at least it's paused for a significant amount of time, because there's definitely a video where they actually have the ambulance working its way through the crowd.
You see the flashing lights happening.
You see that,
You
dude.
can see the lights.
Yeah,
nigga, like.
and it's a truck in your concert. Like, that's not supposed to be there. He's not selling ice cream. Like, you have to.
Like, oh, this part of the show.
You have to. And he's, it's not like he's a kid, right? I think we have this idea.
He's a grown man with a child.
30 years old.
Yeah. Another motherfucker who shouldn't be having no fucking kids. Stupid. Plan B, motherfucker. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm getting very, very ghetto. But, I mean, hey. You're supposed to be a parent, responsible. You're an influence on your child. What if this is your kid? You're a parent, bro. Children died at your concert. A little 10-year-old boy died of his injuries, was crushed at your motherfucking concert. Right. What is wrong with you?
Yeah.
You don't know the kid is there.
Right.
You know the kid is there, but you're holding responsibility for this, man.
Yeah.
Come on. And I don't know how he's taking this right now. Then we also that like weird video that everyone is memeing. Like
the memes are like funny.
Yo, bro.
The memes are funny.
Listen, it's just so inappropriate, but listen,
God, it's so funny.
Great comedy comes from tragedy.
Yeah.
And niggas will not be stopped when it comes to comedy, and this shit is funny. Like, what I just sent to the group chat was he's getting charged for $750 million. He's being sued for $750 million, and it's a black dude coming up behind a woman and it's like, "Yo, babe, can you take care of this for me?" And shorty's like, "Go get my purse."
Yeah.
I can't help but laugh at that. It's just wrong. I feel wrong. Like, I'm just like, damn, I shouldn't be laughing. Like, people died, but like,
I think part of the difference though is that, especially when it comes to that apology video he did. First of all, anytime you put a filter on something, it's immediately a joke. You can't record something, put a black and white filter on it, and still be serious about it, like all the way. You know what I mean? There has to be a part of you that's like, I'm doing this so that they think something.
He put the somber filter on it. Like,
exactly. And this is why I think when we make memes about that, it's kind of punching up, right? Because it's like, I mean, granted,
it's like, you a bitch, nigga. Yeah, you're not that sad about this, nigga.
Exactly. And he like you said, we don't know how he's taking it, but that video certainly didn't seem very sincere. One of the funniest things I saw, everyone on TikTok is going wild with this. I wish I'd saved the video, but it was like, people are basically doing a bunch of first-person videos, right? Well, they'll like have a caption, and so one of them was like, they were giving out the stale pizza at school cafeteria today, and the guy's going into one of those, like, those old black and white dotted like bathroom stalls in middle schools.
Yeah.
So he's going into one of those, and then he sits down, and the camera flips, and it's Travis Scott rubbing his face, and then it's just like the wet dookie like sound effect, like just
oh god,
in the toilet.
Justin,
I was
disgusting.
like, that's funny. Also, a lot of the the promotion for the show had to do with like these kind of insinuations around death.
And the shirt,
see
like,
you on the other side.
Will you survive tonight?
Yeah.
Da-da-da-da. And that has been done, I'm sure, with like other possibly rock concerts. And then there's that whole the race thing, like this happened here, this happened there. There's also like two different media outlets. Like there is a whole rock outlet that we are not aware of.
Yeah, for sure.
So we don't know what happens with them like that. But I'm sure same shit like this happens in their concerts, and they get the same ridicule, or they're responsible, or whatever, or they take the same precautions, or whatever. Or back in the 90s when rock was still, crazy, there was stuff going on, they had to deal with it. But the way Travis is doing it right now is not appropriate.
Yeah, I mean, and even some of the comparative footage we've been seeing is from rock groups. Chester Bennington stopping a concert.
Poor RP to the God.
Yeah, Dave Grohl of the Foo Fighters stopping a concert. Kurt Cobain stopped a concert one time because he saw, I think, a woman getting like sexually harassed in like one of the, almost like in the front row of his,
I've seen also before this happened, I've seen a lot of footage of concerts and niggas are like,
Kurt Cobain got off the stage. Kurt Cobain almost went up to the dude in the crowd, like, relax. So these things are possible, and I know that people have kind of a rags to riches affinity for Travis Scott, right? When you look at some of his early concerts, and this is a lot of artists, but he was
Jack
performing
Harlow
for like
did it. No one died.
no one died at a Jack Harlow concert. Yes,
I mean, knock on wood. Yeah, and Jack Harlow just got popping, but for someone who just did that whole switch within the last like 2 years and was popping during COVID, and he's killing these shows right now, shit.
I mean, I think that it's going to send up a flare for a lot of other artists, right? To always be mindful of.
I've been seeing Tiana Taylor and SZA been really like adamant, like, yo, this ain't gonna be no Astroworld.
Yeah, for real.
You better behave yourself.
And listen, not for nothing. I mean, yes, obviously the loss of human life, but there's also they're gonna be coming for that wallet. That's what they're gonna come for. You know what I mean? And yes, Travis Scott is well off, but he's facing down the barrel of a lot of suits. It's more than 90 civil suits.
God damn.
Leveled against
Drake too.
Him and the organ against Drake.
Yeah, Drake, because Drake was on stage.
He was. That's true. Was he one of the organizers as well?
No.
Well, I actually
performing.
I read that this
and
was
Drake did this properly. He kept his mouth shut. That white gene of his was active.
not getting involved in this mess.
He's like,
I just don't know about this.
I am waiting for the dust to settle a little bit, and he wrote a statement.
Yeah.
Or he probably didn't even wrote it. A smart person wrote it and put it on his Instagram and left it. Yeah. And Drake will handle it the way Drake does. He'll give money. He'll do whatever he needs to do. Drake will be fine. But Drake didn't do what Travis Scott did, which was some stupid shit.
Well, I hear that this is another reason that Kanye decided to squash the beef, because Travis is his brother-in-law, basically. And
what's funny was Kanye called Travis Scott a copycat of Kid Cudi, Kanye, and A$AP Rocky. And I thought that was the funniest thing I ever heard in my fucking life.
I mean, he's not even wrong.
You're not wrong at all.
If the three of them performed a tri-fusion...
You copping me, bruh?
Him saying that when he dies, he wants them to put on his tombstone, my biggest mistake was signing Big Sean.
That was terrible.
Who takes shots at Big Sean?
Big Sean is the nicest man in rap.
He don't do nothing but rap and then go home and suck on Jhené Aiko's toes. That's all that man does. And it's fine.
Justin.
Am I lying?
Yo, Ahmad pause. Ahmad can't even swallow his drink.
I'm lying? That's all that man does. He goes into the studio and says, I gotta go home.
He's gotta go eat some groceries.
You know what's so crazy?
What's up, bro?
She said this in an interview that she does not like getting her ass eaten.
That's a disappointment.
She said it just
rhymed. I needed to write a song, and everyone took it and ran with it. And the radio host was like, "So you don't actually like?"
She really could have said
having your salad
but
toast.
she really could have said eat the coochie like groceries. She really could have said booty and coochie. The it at the end.
Right.
She really could have said eat the coochie like groceries.
There was so many videos being made about groceries. That shit. So many vines about that one line. And it would be some dude just saying, he was gonna have someone be like, "Oh no, I was actually lying. Like I don't like have my butt eating my like groceries." Like, but you gonna get it eaten today. Like this is what you said. This is what we gonna do.
We have it on record.
So make like a butter knife and spread them, okay?
Make like a butter knife and spread them. Sorry, Professor.
We, I think, have talked a bit before, Jude, about some of the historical comparisons that have been drawn between, like, okay, how rap influences the youth negatively versus, like, how other forms of music does, right? And there's always been this negative lens on rap as, like, in the way that it teaches youth to interact with each other, with society, whatever. That it encourages violence, what have you. And some of that might be true. Obviously we talk about violence all the time on the podcast. Freddie Gibbs, Griselda, all
We
that.
love violence.
Yeah.
But there's grown man violence. I went to a Griselda show, and Conway the Machine was like, yo, there's never any violence in our shows.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a fight that was about to happen. Two white dudes. Two 30-year-old white dudes
There you
being
go.
stupid.
There you go.
And when I go to these shows, and the only shows I've been to was like DaBaby's, some nigga shit happened there. Those were niggas being stupid.
Okay, fair.
But Davies is Davies. Pusha T, Kendrick, J-Rock, all that happened. No stupid nigga shit happened.
Yeah.
No fights happened. No nothing happened. Those were fun, safe shows with some mosh pitting, with some wilding, but everyone was safe and cool.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, I just think that obviously there is an amount of individual responsibility
There's absolutely amount of individuals
that we as consumers and the audience need to take with the stuff that we listen to, right? It's like you can listen to whatever you want, but you have to know how easily affected you are or are not by that music. We talked about how like punk rock, for example, there is a correlation between that and like its listeners self-harming quite a bit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like that kind of thing is just as prevalent as like, examples of outward violence, but we only really hear about like hip hop, I think, and violence are always packaged together in this way to make it seem like, it's kind of like the anti-black agenda in a way that you don't hear about with other genres of music. But the point is that anything can affect you. So it's on you to understand your triggers and to understand and to be balanced in what you consume. And I think when we come to these live events, it's 100%, not 100%, but it is largely on the artist to ensure the safety of their crowd. And
Also the venue, and also the promoters.
yeah. And also to recognize that the power that you hold goes a lot of ways. It's not like you can tell your fans to do something and then you can't control them anymore.
It's
It's
like
well, it's out of my hands. I told them to rage. I can't stop them now.
I feel like all that Travis Scott worries about is his art. I feel like he's a very selfish artist.
Mm-hmm.
It's about him and the environment that he wants to present and he wants to make. I mean, I don't know his whole freaking life or whatever, but it just seems to me, the vibe I get from him is that he is just like those angsty white kids, that start raging and doing that punk rock shit.
Yeah.
And
the difference is that he's worth however much money, $300 million.
but that's just the vibe he gives me.
Yeah.
It's just the vibe he gives me. He was just the weird black kid into all this wild shit and into Kid Cudi and into all that. And he just gets drunk with what he wants to see. Like, he wants to be like those crazy rock shows by any means necessary. And he's just been wilding.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's drunk with his own power, and he's drunk with his own ego.
You know what? It's a wake up call, I think is the moral of the story. It's an unfortunate one.
Pack that nigga the fuck up. Pack him up. Pack him up in a suitcase with the rest of your luggage. Put him on a plane. Send him to wherever Amelia Earhart, got lost, and keep him over there. Keep that nigga over there. Fuck him.
Damn.
Fair enough.
I mean, hey, there's nothing more I can say about this man, Travis Scott. Like, he's already done so much damage and has corrupted the minds of a lot of his fans, and especially his young fans as well, because let's not forget that he did do a Fortnite concert.
He sure did.
And
Oh my god!
I guess that's why a 10-year-old
Oh
was
my
at this
god! I forgot about
it was
that.
a Fortnite concert. The concert was actually pretty amazing. Not gonna lie to you, but that's besides the point.
I might
Ahmad
listen to Sicko
downloaded
Mode.
Fortnite for the concert.
I might listen to Sicko Mode still.
Like,
just
literally, he did the concert, it was like so many special effects, and then he dropped his new single in that concert on Fortnite. And so you have like all these new Travis Scott fans who are around that kid's age. So if these folks are saying like, why are these kids showing up at these concerts? Because they have Fortnite,
I
bitch.
forgot about
that actually makes a lot of sense.
So
everyone's like, why you bring a kid to a Travis Scott show?
because
We
they
thought
know
this was
him.
Fortnite, nigga.
He performed for them too. So
Well, if he's not careful, I think after this he's gonna only be doing virtual concerts.
Maybe.
It's that way.
He's gonna be a
Niggas can't get
hologram like
hurt.
Tupac.
Yeah.
shoot, I'll show y'all the concert after this. But it was just it's more so. He needs to be stopped now because if he gains like more of a fan base, like folks just like, oh my god, like why they doing it to him like this? Like if he wasn't they'll literally just come up with some stupid shit as to why he didn't stop his show, which he
And I
should
want to
have
call
done
it
it in the first
demonic
place.
because people are like, "Oh, this is like a demonic."
It's not.
Sacrifice.
It's not
no.
demonic. It's just
No,
stupidity.
It's just stupidity. It's not being held accountable for your actions. It's being reckless. It's not taking responsibility of the safety of the people that you care about and love so much.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, dang. It's a good talk, y'all. Y'all are insightful and
Fuck
funny
Travis.
as always.
Wait, let's have a
pack
happy
him
ending.
up.
Pause.
Oh yes.
Favorite
Oh, what we're excited to
Thanksgiving
eat?
dish? What are you excited to eat?
Okay. Oh,
I know I'm not excited to eat some butt, but
listen now.
Hercules.
She was gripping on me ties, give me Hercules.
That album is so
That
good.
album is
all the
amazing.
cocaine, all the cocaine.
Only 9 songs and they are
It's perfect.
bangers.
That is how you should have an album. It's not 20 songs, 15 to 12.
Silk
They
Sonic
kept
is
it
what
at
we're
9,
talking about.
perfecto.
Yeah.
9, beautiful.
It's distilled, it's pure, like Coke.
Yes.
But go ahead.
It is very pure. Like
It's like a shot
Literally.
of tequila. Like, it's excellent.
every single one of them just tells a story, and like it starts off all sweet and nice, and then Smoking Out the Window comes in,
Yo, Smoking
and
Out
then
the
it
Window
gets
just
yo.
it hits so hard,
Yo.
deep in my soul. If this song came out last year when I broke up with my old shorty, oh my god, this
would've-
bitch paying the rent, paying for
Jude
trips,
would've been-
diamonds on her neck, diamonds on her wrist. Oh my
Jude
god, I would have been on. I would have gotten a Cadillac.
He would have been on that terrace yelling.
I was about to say he would have been on the terrace every day smoking a big old stogie with the Italian shirt open.
Word.
Looking at the Tony Soprano painting.
So my dish. Okay, so you want to just me naming it, just like not one.
Just, anything
What
that
are you
you're
what are
excited
you looking
to
to
eat.
put on
Bet.
the plate?
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So it's gonna be some baked mac and cheese, of course. Nice little corner spot, and then get the candy M's with the marshmallows on top, and then we got the and then we got the collard greens that's on the side. You gotta have the cornbread on the other side so that it wouldn't get too soggy because of that collard green juice. You feel me?
Yo, this
And
is
then-
scientific.
Exactly. Come on now, you got stay with me now. And so once you get that cornbread, you gotta put that honey butter that's on top. You know what I'm saying? Because it's good. And so afterwards, then you gotta get the turkey. I love skin. I love the skin that's off the turkey.
Skin
I
on
do
anything
not.
is just fantastic.
Interesting.
I just it's a little weird when some people say I really don't like it. Okay, you're weird to me. But I put the turkey right there, and then of course you can't forget about the mashed potatoes. But then for dessert,
Plate is heavy.
some rum cake.
Rum
Okay.
cake, that's interesting.
Rum cake is really good.
Jude, what about you?
Well, of course the turkey. Now, it's the hottest take in the world. I like mac and cheese, but it's not my favorite thing in the world. I'm not always looking forward to mac and cheese.
Okay.
As an Italian,
I'll take that.
I just prefer my pasta
Got it.
a little more light. It's Americans, not just black folks, but Americans like to OD on everything.
Yeah.
Italian is very subtle.
Yeah.
It's very nice and light. So the sauce, light on the sauce. Light on can be a little heavy on the cheese, but it's a delicate cheese. It's not just
you've
you're
seen-
overwhelming me with cheese and just no. That's
You've
just
seen
a lot.
Goodfellas, right?
Of course.
You know that scene where Paul Sorvino was slicing
Yes.
onion? That's what it just made me think
Bro,
of.
oh my god, because he's just Paul Sorvino was just like
With the manicured
the
nails.
delicate in delicately slicing a stub of garlics with a razor blade, just so beautiful. Just bro, that's like what's it called? ASMR. That's ASMR for Italian people. And Miss D's stuffing is crazy.
Oh, I forgot about stuffing too.
Yo,
Yes.
her stuffing hits. Her stuffing hits. And her candy yams are crazy as well. This is a woman's house that I go to downstairs. You know, her sons used to babysit me, but I'm always in there for Thanksgiving. What else? So her turkey always slaps. I'm with you on skin. I'm with you on white and dark meat. And I'm bringing Italian fucking eggplant parmesan because I want her to like give me the stamp of approval on my eggplant parm. Not just these shorties, but I want her to give me the stamp of approval on my eggplant parmesan.
Gotcha.
But yo, I'm looking forward to Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
it's gonna be fun.
For me, I think the meal that I've said that this would probably be, if I had to choose a final meal, this is what it would be. This is like the most redneck thing I eat. Smoked turkey necks, chopped
necks,
and stewed in a brew with collard greens. It takes like 4 hours to do, but my mom has done it a few times in my life. Sometimes she'll chop up some potatoes and throw them in there too. And
anything with potatoes is crazy.
And that's the only way that I actually enjoy the flavor of turkey. Like Thanksgiving turkey by itself, I always
it'd be dry.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, like, you know, it's not like my mom can't cook. Like she's very competent in the kitchen.
But
so
the
is my
bird
sister-in-law.
itself,
Yeah,
the bird itself.
Yeah,
like,
and so you know, it seems like flavor doesn't stick to it as easy as chicken. In fact, my mother, in fact, my mom made chicken. I think last Thanksgiving or Thanksgiving before last, she was like, "We ain't doing turkey. I'm not worried about it. Let's just make two small chickens." Cool. So, but yeah, smoked turkey necks. Of course, baked mac and cheese. My sister-in-law has a pretty dangerous, like 5 mac and cheese that she does. So, you know,
call up your arteries.
Yeah, I've helped out with the yams in the past, so I might do that again this year. I like to, you know, the past few years, I'd like to help out in the kitchen if I can. But in fact, my brother and my sister-in-law are coming up this year. They split the holidays every year, and they reverse it. So they'll do Thanksgiving with us, and then they'll do Christmas with Carla's family, or vice versa. And so they're doing Thanksgiving with us, and which means that my mom will definitely be helped, at least by Carla. What they might do, sometimes me and or my brother come into the kitchen, and it's just them working and like, get out of this goddamn kitchen, I swear to God. Like, I just want to help. Get out of the kitchen.
They just
Go sit down. All right.
Go watch football or something. Do what boys do.
I don't like go.
You don't ever be in the kitchen while they're cooking for Thanksgiving. You don't do it.
Carla about pick up the skillet and
They
chuck
have-
it. at
They have
Phil's
like
head.
caution tape around the kitchen door.
For real. No, but I'm looking forward to it, and we hope that y'all have a bountiful Thanksgiving, Friendsgiving, whoever you're celebrating with. We hope that you feel safe and loved. We will be
Warm
back
and cozy.
in
Please house
December.
hop.
Yes.
House hop to other people's places to get your place.
But don't arrive empty-handed. Bring a bottle of wine. Bring a bottle of sherry. Don't bring no Casamigos in my house.
And don't bring no motherfucking Hennessy.
I swear for God. Okay? Thank you very much.
You heard them.
Stay safe, stay dangerous, wear your condoms.
I love y'all.